Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering drop-downs. And what is drop-down? It's basically a drop-down menu. So if you click on one button, it should display a whole bunch of other buttons beneath it, or a whole bunch of items beneath it in a menu style. And that's what we're going to be doing today. But before I cover that, I want to align this to the left, because it's being eaten up by that nav bar there at the moment. So we go into our div, and the div is the box that's containing our table right now. And then we type in margin left. There it is, 120 pixels. And then Control S to save that. And now we have it separated from the back end of that nav bar there. We might move it later, but that's how we have it set up right now. So, how do you create a nav bar drop down? We're going to be going into our W3 schools and following along with the example there. So go into your CSS. Then scroll down here till you get to drop downs. And there is the syntax of how to create a basic drop down. So just know, guys and gals, this is how to create this is the methods of how to create these things that I'm showing you in these series, or in this series, I mean. And it's just the what do you call it, the standard, the industry standard basics of how to do all this. If you want to, make it fancy and do a whole bunch of extra stuff to it, then I suggest you use your resources to learn how to add extra effects and extra things. But right now, what we're learning is what basically any web developer should start out with at the beginning of creating any of these elements, any of these features in the website. This is the what do you call it? The basic method of how to create these things in a website. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything fancy on these series, because I'm gonna save that up. I'm gonna leave that up to you to figure it out. But I'm just showing you how to create the standard for web development, any of these elements, any of these things that we're covering in this series. So you go into our example and you can see the basic drop down example right there. So we would go into our styles.css, and then drop down, position, I'm going to set it to relative, and then display, inline, block. Then drop down, content, display is none, position, set that absolute, background color, and let's say we want to make it a different color than that. So I'm going to go into my favorites. Okay. Going into our web development bookmarks, and then go into our CSS gradients. Oh, hold on. I want to open that in a separate tab there. Okay, so let's see what color should we make this drop down here. Kind of has to match. So, also, let's take off the green here. I just did the green thing for the example. Let's take that off now. So, no background color. Oh wait, that was actually for this one. Keep that on there. The green one for the table. Let's see. Should be TD, because TD is the like these containers here. So that's the border. Okay, that's not it. Marine. I think it was actually this one, yeah. TD green. Let's see. Save that. No, I just took off that hover effect. Undo that with Control Z. Refresh. Let's see, where is this color here? Okay, might be that one. Or the TH is up here. I don't know, let's see. There. Perfect. So that's what I want it to look like. You could change the color if you want. But the whole reason of this gradients that we added as background is for it to be visible. So it kind of defeats the purpose if we add an extra color in the middle there. Alright, looking good. Looking good. So, also want to change the color here of this hover effect. So instead of green, let's see if it will accept aquamarine. Perfect. You kind of want it to match the theme, otherwise it looks like a mess of colors. But that is a good looking color. I like aquamarine. So, going into our CSS gradients, we could pick out aquamarine for our drop down. Right there. So it tells us what the hex code is going to be for it. So right there, it's going to be 19FFE5. Copy that. And then go back to our CSS, down to our drop down, background color, paste that there. Alright. So now the width, minimum width, 160 pixels. Box shadow, 0 pixels, 8 pixels, 16 pixels, another 0 pixels. So it's gonna add a shadow effect, like a box shadow effect around the buttons. RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.2. Padding 12 pixels and 16 pixels. Z index. One, Now down here, dot drop down, hover, dot drop down, content. Display block, style, so right here, don't put in style. This is going to be for the HTML document. So that's how you add it into our HTML. We go into our default.html. Actually, save this first, Control S, and default.html. So, let's put this, we're going to put it into one of our cells. It's going to be that one right there. Let's just put it right next to our picture. Okay, that's going to be the JPG right there. So then content, there we go. That's where I want the drop down. Let's put it there. So we do div class equals drop down so in this case, instead of the div being dominant, the TD is dominant because that's the cell we're putting it in. And then span mouse over, well, whatever you want it to say. So click me, and span, and the span right there. I do div class equals drop down slash content hello world. And the div, and the other div, close it off right there. Control save that, and now let's see what it looks like in our code. So refresh. There it is. Click me. And it says hello world in drop down. So the click me doesn't really look like a button. Hello world does look like a button, however. Let's continue this here. So now down here it shows you how to create the button, or how to style the button. So style the drop down button, and that's how you get the basic style for a button. So let's make the button. Drop btn buttons, background, color, hashtag 4CAF50. Don't know why I did money sign there. 4CAF50. Actually, want it to be a different color. Let's customize the color. So drop down button, the background color. Let's make it aquamarine as well. Well, okay, I need to get the hash, that's right. So let's make it a darker aquamarine then. Let's make it like that. Okay. Or maybe that one a little bit. No. I don't know. I don't know what, like, which one I want right now, to be honest with you. Maybe I want this one. Maybe I want that one. Let's just grab that one. Okay, so paste that in there and then enter. Color white. Padding 16 pixels. Font size 16 pixels. Border none. Cursor pointer. Drop down. Position relative. Display inline block. Drop down content. Display none. Position absolute. Background color. For the content, I want it to be like a lighter right there. Something like that. Copy that. Might change it later. I don't know. Min width 160 pixels. Box shadow 0 pixels, 8 pixels, 16 pixels, 0 pixels. So you can play around with these values once we're done here to kind of adjust the way the shadow looks on your buttons. If you want it to look a different way, you can adjust like the angle or how big the shadow is on it. 0.2. And I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna do separation here. So comment this. Let's see, drop downs. Info. How do you comment on here again? Let's see. Oh, I was doing dots. It's actually star. Drop down info. And star / okay. Going back. Because this is a big chunk of our CSS, so I want to separate it so we could easily find it later. So you can see drop down info right here. It's labeled. Okay, where were we? Drop down content. Okay, right here. Z dash index 1. Let me make sure I got that right. I think I might have doubled down on something here. Drop down content. Okay, Z index 1. Style. Drop button. Oh, we actually, okay, so we already have drop down content up here. That's just for the other style of drop down that we've been following here. So go back down here if you already added it. Delete this drop down content. We can't have more than one. That's going to confuse the computer. So drop down, okay, drop down, hover, drop down. Make sure we don't have any duplicates here. Drop down. Okay, we have a duplicate of drop down, so let's delete that. Relative inline block. Okay, so drop down. There's the drop down. Drop down, hover, drop button. Content. Cool. So that's all we should have right now. So let me expand this so you can see. So far, we just have this. Okay. And now scrolling down. Drop down content A. Let's go drop down content A, color black, padding 12 pixels and 16 pixels. Text decoration none. Display block. Okay, and then we have the hover right here. We already have a hover right there. We display block. We'll drop down content A, hover, background color. So that's the one that we need in our code right there. Drop down content A, hover, and it doesn't matter where you put this. You could put it above this, you could put it above this one. You just have to have it within these brackets, and the this will pull whatever you have under the certain elements that you're styling with these CSS styles from this document. So it doesn't matter which order you put it in. Drop down content A, hover, background color. Let's do a different background color. You hover over it, it's going to change to don't know, let's do yellow. Okay. Drop down, hover, dot drop down. Okay, so this is to show the drop down menu on hover. But we already have that right here. So I'm gonna leave that out if we already added it with the previous example. And then this is to change the background color of the drop down button whenever you drop it down. So whenever it's shown. Let's see, I think we already have that one too. Drop button. Content, hover, background, okay, blah blah blah. Okay, so we don't have that one. Let's add it in. Drop down, hover, and drop button. Background, color, hashtag 3E8E41. Style. Oh, actually, take that off. So now we're going to save this and then go back to our HTML. And there's our style. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Oh, wrong one. Default.html is what I mean. So there we have our style. Let's see, where's that? Have our drop down content. Okay. Oh, I see. So they did it all. This is like done inside of the HTML. That's why you had style there and then end style there. We don't need to do the style and then end style on the HTML here because we're having our HTML file pull from the CSS document, pull the values from these from the CSS document. So going down, let's see, going down to our HTML div class, that's where we have the drop down right now, drop down content, and then go enter. We're still inside of the cell. You can see TD right there and then NTD right there for the cell. Then we go href equals, and then just a pound right there. So that's going to be a link. If you want to link anything to this, you could link a website, you could link a YouTube video, you could link anything to it. Link 1. So let's see. Let's link to well, we'll just leave that blank for now. But you could add links to whatever you want to link to there. So link 1 and then A, and I'm gonna do what programmers usually do and just copy and paste to simplify the process if you already have the first one written down. And then we could just go 2, 3, there. So link 1, 2, 3, and then you end the div. We already have that there. So if we control save here, refresh, there's our links. Okay, so there you go. So those are in the style buttons. I also want to make the click me in the style button as well, and that's inside of the span. So what I'm doing right now is I'm styling the span, as you can see here. So color, and then white, padding, 16 pixels, font size, let's do 25 or 20 pixels, border, none, cursor, pointer. Control save that, go back here, or go back here I mean, and refresh that. Still nothing on the span. Heading, background color, border, cursor. Span, and we do, well, span, hover, background, color, 3E8E41, control save, and then display block. And we do class here equals span. Control save, refresh. There we go. So this is the identifier that it needs to link to our CSS over here, the class. There it is. That's how you make a button. Pretty cool, right? Alright, I'll catch you in the next video. That's how you make a button with a drop-down menu. That's what I mean. I'll catch you in the next video, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of these videos very quickly. Okay, catch you later. Bye.